way too much to be able to play the game enough to play tournaments. I just cast all the time. It's my job. I'm better at talking about the game than playing it. It's much better to much better way to entertain you guys. Trust me. Wardy playing is not great. Yes, okay, I did play in a show match at Home Story Cup. I played in 2 show matches. I got crushed in the 2v2 because of my fault. I fucked up. We absolutely crushed in the Archon mode. Me and Bly versus Mana and Maynard. Easy. Alright, let's kick this off then, guys. It's our grand finals of GO4SC2 here today. To the top left-hand side, our red Zerg player from Euronics Gaming. Give it up if you're cheering on Nerchio. Seen a little bit of his ZvP. We've also seen a little bit of this guy's PVZ. It is the blue product to the bottom right-hand side from Cascade. Here in today's GO4SC2 finals, DnS. €100 on the line. Winner takes all. Not sure why they made it winner takes all. No one really likes it. Everyone much prefers it to be, you know, like a 75-25 split or something. I don't think anyone really likes winner takes all. If that's what it is, that's the rules of GO4SC2. As we kick this off and see what's going to happen. Probably won't watch Group A for WSG, though you're back at work, so probably a non-issue. I think it's okay. I think Group A is going to be intertwined with Group B, so it's not just going to be pure ZvZ, you know? I'm pretty sure, at least, anyways. Stand up here, guys, getting rolling. Just going to be seeing the early builds developing and seeing what's going to be happening. No coupon for Matcherino today. There isn't even a Matcherino for today's page. It's just GO4SC2. GO4SC2 not partnered with the Matcherinos. It's okay, guys. Matcherino will be back tomorrow. If you tune in for tomorrow's cast, we'll be bringing you guys some Matcherino codes. Actually, we don't even have codes, but Matcherino will be a thing at least. No codes, though. Feels bad, man. It's okay. The codes will be back for the main event, for the main WardiTV weekly Season 3 finals. Tomorrow's just a qualifier. Moving forwards, having a little bit of a look to see what's up, what's going on. Stargate going to be finishing in a moment or two as this Adept. Is it going to shade? Probably not, right? No real reason for it to shade in, just one Adept on its own. An Oracle on the way up. We've seen a lot of this sort of Oracle-based play opening in PvZ so far today. I mean, it's nothing different from the old patch. People have been seeing all the way through. Now, guys, you can also vote for who you want to see winning this series here today. So, let it be heard whether you want to cheer on... sorry, I pressed the wrong button. One moment. There we go. You can hashtag Nerchio or hashtag DnS in the chat if you want to vote for these guys and to let us know who you're supporting. Let's see who you guys are cheering on in this series. Hashtag Nerchio, hashtag DnS in the Twitch chat. And let's see who you guys want to see winning this series here today. As do you have Adepts here just going to hide behind the mineral lines. We are going to see a couple of things getting picked off. The Oracle will come in, but not to save the Adepts, but will indeed pick off every single Zerglin. So the Zerglins do go down. Oh, I actually... Sorry, I'm so blind. I didn't even realize that these were shield batteries being placed over here. I saw them build and I just assumed they were at home. And then I went to fix the poles and to get that started, so I do apologize. A little bit of a shame, because actually the shield batteries obviously don't really help much against for the Oracle. It would have helped a lot more if the Adepts were still around, so it's unfortunate they did get pushed away. Good job by Nerchio, though, because otherwise he would have probably been in a lot more trouble. Things still moving around. We're going to be seeing a couple of Oracles. Going to try and get to work once again. I mean, shield battery's kind of doing his job. Will it heal up the pylon? Not really much need to kind of heal up the pylon, I guess. What do you really gain out of it? Yeah, I guess you keep the shield batteries powered, but if the shield batteries are healing the pylon, they're not healing the units anyways, so... Shield batteries will now go down. The Oracles, I guess, traded quite well, getting a few more Zerglings. No drones, though, no queens. Nothing too substantial as we see behind there's a Stargate. On the way up, a second Stargate. So DnS going to show us some Oracle play here. Going to go into a lot of Oracles. So a lot of Oracles on the way up. And we'll be seeing mass Oracle continuing through in the next few moments. So we'll see how Nerchio decides to try and deal with this already. The missile upgrade will be a big help to that. Better missile upgrade than melee upgrade when playing against Oracles, because obviously the Lings are not going to add much to the fight. Wow, lots of love for DnS in the chat. Border80 comes in with the hashtag DnS in with my Eve Shadow song. And you got MBK on DNS's side. Doda Heifer has DnS as well. Gamma137 also cheering on DnS and Von Schleyer. Hashtag Nerchio from Rankers SNP, the only hashtag Nerchio so far. And as we get set up into this first push of the Protoss beyond that shield battery attack, going to be some Adepts shading up across the map now. They don't have glaives or anything, it's just going to be some Adepts to kind of back up some Oracles. Let's see what they can do as they gather together and look to fight together in the next few moments. Oracles just sat overhead, these Adepts coming together underneath, and again we'll shade forwards to begin to apply some pressure here. Cryptium gets taken down. Oracles doing a couple of loops up in the sky. Twilight Council and Forge going to be finishing in a moment or so. Infestation, Pit Hydra's dead. On the way up as we do see that Phoenix just poking its way through that Overlord. And Debs did go back home, so they're not going to bother themselves too much with trying to push through here, not with this many Roaches in position. We do see Hydras are going to be finishing up, or the Hydra Den finishing up in a moment, so Hydras will be able to be produced here in a moment. Infestation Pit about to finish up as well, and some Infestors will be able to come out in the next few moments probably. Just going to see these Oracles. Just going to be gathering together. Why do people use shield batteries instead of cannons? Asks Tom TS in the chat. So shield batteries are only 75 minerals each versus 150 minerals each. But also, as these Oracles actually take a fight onto the Queens, kills one before the transfuse. Second Queen going down now as well. No more transfuses available. No, there's one transfuse available on this Queen that just got dropped by the Phoenix. Oh, every Queen going to go down there. The Oracles doing a very good job. But just to answer your question, I think the shield battery just does more as well. It can save important units. It can save your units which you want to use later in the game. And if you keep those units alive, it means that moving forwards you have those units to defend again. Whereas cannons don't do as much damage as certain units, and they just don't really have much use beyond defending a certain position, you know? Whereas keeping units alive, you know, while the shield battery doesn't have much use before defending a certain position, if it keeps units alive, these units can be used elsewhere. The photon cannon cannot. So yeah, it's just a lot better basically for defense, I suppose, the shield battery. It's a lot better for defense when you're going to have units there to defend, like on a third base. It's one of those things that's meant to kind of just help your army be sustainable as you build up. You know, later in the game to defend run-bys, etc., you're probably going to see cannons in position, because then they're going to be there, they're going to be static defense without having to commit units into position. So that's kind of the difference. It's just, I guess, okay, that's a better way to compare it, right? The shield battery is a lot better at defending when there's units, if you're going to have units nearby already. And obviously in most of these scenarios then players are going to have the units nearby, and so it is just better at defending. Anyways, we're going to be seeing these units just setting up in the center. Roaches and Hydras are going to be coming around. You're going to see an Adept picked off on the watchtower. Stasis goes off here, helps to delay a little bit of the Berserk army, although it's only a single Roach. Berserk's actually going to come up top and try and attack through into the gold base. The gateways will buy a little bit of time. Colossi are on the way up, but it's just the first two Colossi in production right now. Sorry, there is actually one already out. So second and third Colossus in production at the moment. Colossus will help a lot, but obviously you need enough of them to actually push this back, as we're going to be seeing the Oracles coming in. A few Hydras getting picked away at. Starting to go down. Stalker sentries, a couple of Adepts as well, just fighting against this. And so far, DnS doing a good job. At the same time, Nerchio is going to keep on attacking. The shield battery keeping this Adept up right now, but not once the Hydra start fighting it, so he is going to push through, run by in towards the natural expansion. Damage being done. Cyber X-Core will be targeted down, and these Zealots are, well, being healed by the shield battery for now, as we're going to see Hydra still fighting up top. The Colossus will be able to help get rid of these though, so these Hydras are going to get taken down. Nerchio overall taking a bit of a larger supply lead than he had previously, as he's currently unable to actually do much about this mineral line with the shield battery in position. Probably should have kept on fighting. The shield battery is about to be drained of energy, and then he would have actually been able to start picking off some probes. Spire will finish in a moment, as Lings, a couple of Roaches, and Hydras come through the center of the map. 4 or 5 seconds getting taken down there. Revelation comes down, and those Hydras do get revealed. Just allows DnS to keep track of where the next attack of Nerchio might be coming from. Nerchio looking to be aggressive again. It's actually interesting for DnS. It was only 2 Stargates, so it wasn't like mass Oracle. It's just a lot of Oracles helping transition through, but now not going to be many Oracles left after flying through those Hydras. Ling Hydra attacking up to the gold base once again. Stalker's immediately blinking on top of this. I don't like that blink at all. And Stalker's just disappear as they blink into the Hydra force. Meanwhile, Roaches and Hydras are going to try and do something down towards the natural as well. Pushing forwards, these Hydras trying to target down a Colossus. Not going to be allowed to do so, but they'll get a little gateway units in the process. The Roaches are in the mineral line as well, picking away at a whole bunch of these probes. Five workers killed. Again, a few more Roaches, a few more Hydras on the way up. More Zerglings too. 5 more Corruptors on the way out. Hive is on the way up as well. Going to be finishing shortly as these Zealots are going to continue to work their way through this hatchery. Hatchery goes down. A couple more Zerglings going to get picked away at. Again, Hive still on the way up. Corrupt is obviously something we saw Nerchio using against Showtime, when Showtime was using Colossi as well. It generally will be the way to defend this. As you do see this Orb Prism pushed away through the south side once again. Nerchio feels like he's controlling the map right now. He's taking all the bases. His creep spread's pretty insane. He's getting Corruptors up to deal with the Colossi. I like Nerchio's position. It feels as though he's building into something that's really going to work quite nicely. Single Stalker on this Watchtower will get picked off pretty quickly. And again, these Corruptors just moving forwards to see what else they can do. A little bit of an army to the right hand side here from DnS, trying to position itself as well. Figure out what's going to be next. Great Aspire on the way up for Nerchio. Prism drops a few Zealots off down to the bottom left hand side. This hatchery starting to take quite a beating now. And we'll get cancelled here. Nice play by DnS, trying to deny some of the economy of Nerchio here. Is somewhat essential moving through the game. Roaches and Hydras getting through another couple of Zealots there. DnS is going to get back to maxed out. Nerchio max, but does have a bank to spare. And he's also going to be well, he's also going to have the Great Aspire finishing, so you'll have the access to Broodlords moving forwards. That could be fairly interesting too in terms of how it continues on. Yes, back over to the right, we're going to see more Roaches to the south. They're still just trying to maybe trade off some of these Roaches to kind of get in towards Broodlords instead now. Free up a little bit of supply and try and, you know, do some damage in the process rather than just waste them. Nice catch though by DnS. Able to pick his way through a bunch of these. Shut them down pretty quickly as we see the Zealots and Stalkers. They'll be able to get rid of those Roaches. More Roaches around the top now, and they're going to try and run forwards as well. Stalkers able to help defend this. And again, I like the idea of trying to attack these Roaches, but so far I'm not finding a lot of luck with it. However, the Broodlord army is pretty large. 12 Broodlords are currently marching forwards, and a 13th has just joined them. This is going to be very scary. Now, Archons are not great against Broodlords because they're not going to get in range to actually hit the Broodlords. The Stalkers can blink underneath, but there's not really enough of them, especially against this many Broodlings. There's just going to be Stalkers disappearing so quickly. So let's see how this goes. The Brutalins, now let's take a moment to kind of think about this. There was no melee upgrades, so they have not got upgrades, so they're not super powerful like usual. But again, it just means they take a little bit longer to actually kill things, which is fine if the Brutalords aren't actually ever going down. Nice cut across here from Nerchio. Will catch another shot of Brutalins or so down onto this army. Colossus goes down, Immortals are caught. Sentry going down as well. DnS losing so much just so suddenly. Voidra is in production tab, looking for a way to be able to fight these Brutalords, but there isn't really an answer. I mean, 2 Void Rays at a time at this point, it's never going to be enough compared to what Nerchio can make and what he can get up to fight against those Void Rays himself. Pulling down the right-hand side, DnS fought a valiant game, but it feels as though he doesn't really have a way to fight this army. Well, he has got a lot more Stalkers now. Let's see if it's going to be enough. He blinks into a great position to begin with. Hydras are a little bit out of position due to the high ground there. And here's Nerchio quite eager to actually take this fight, though. You can see it. Spreading out the Hydras to help against the Colossi. And here we go. Brutalins coming down once more. The Hydras being targeted by the Colossi, which is important because if they weren't targeted, the Brutalins would be taking damage. If the Brutalins were taking damage, this would not be pretty. Archons are starting to make their movements further forwards, but it's just not enough. An extra wave of Stalkers coming into play. Still a few Hydras in the front trying to help out. Trying to stay away from the Colossi, though. Here we go once again, Stalkers blinking forwards. The Broodlord count is diminishing, down to only 3 Broodlords. DnS might have just about been able to make this work out. As his Colossi will clean up the Hydras, the Broods will fall. Nerchio will be cleaned up here. What a defense by DnS. What a hold. Has to clean out some bases of Nerchio, though. Nerchio even taking his pocket expansion here. A little bit of BM from Nerchio, perhaps. Maybe not BM, maybe a genuine intent to take a base, but at this point in time, well, what a defense by DnS. Not really the army you expect to fight that many Broodlords. But those Colossi just went uncontested. No Corruptors to fight them. And they did so much on the ground. They really were a big part of surviving here. Without those Colossi, I think DnS would have been very dead. But made it work out. Now finding some Overlord kills around the map. Just little bits and pieces of damage to be done. Down to 121 supply. DnS against the 142 of Nerchio. Army supplies are still usable from both players. Nerchio's follow-up is 4 Broodlords, 12 Hydras, 6 Roaches at the moment. I mean, if the 3 Colossi still in play, I'm still worried for him. And obviously 4 Broodlords nowhere near as scary as the 13 he had in the previous fight. Obviously DnS's army is smaller as well. But Broodlords are one of those units that really benefits from gathering up in larger numbers because of the way the Broodlings work. If you just have that many Broodlords that you just consistently dropping down and, you know, the Broodlings are just undealable with, then basically you can never kill them, because the Broodlings will just always protect the Broodlords. If there's only 4 Broodlords, the Broodlings will go down. If the Broodlings go down, then the Broodlords are very vulnerable, and that becomes the issue. As well, a few probes went down here. Nerchio now coming up towards the top side. Going up towards the top side, and well, I'm still actually kind of liking DnS's army now. A few more Broodlords on the way out again, though, so he's going to be in a similar situation where he has to deal with these Broods. And that might be the issue, because I don't know if he can be aggressive dealing with the Broodlords, because he's going to have at least a War Prism on the map to reinforce during the fight, because that was a really important thing in the last time. Alright, well, pushing forwards here, we're still just going to be seeing Group Teamers getting cleaned up. DnS is taking the initiative once again to move forwards on the map. Move towards the upper side. Broodlords are coming in once again here. DnS will start to see this, and he'll start to push on forward. Stalkers will blink, committing onto the Broodlords. One goes down instantly, the second not far behind it. Again, Colossi kind of fighting the Broodlings, but the Broodlords, they're just not in high enough numbers this time, and, well, actually, maybe they are. Is it the Broodlords? Is it just the fact that DnS can't really fight the ground army while staying alive? This time the Colossi are falling a lot faster. Now it's only Sentries and the Colossus left over, and they are being chased. Some Broodlings getting some kills here. As we see, a couple of Force Wheels will save the day for just a moment. Colossus goes down, though. If the Colossus going down, well, it looks as though Nerchio has got this one in the bag. The second wave of the army is going to be enough in the end, but man, was this close. DnS did not look as though he was going to survive the first one, and the second time around I really did like him, like his position a lot better, but it was just a little bit too late at that point. Stalkers this time again are going to be in trouble because the brood number is a bit too high. The Hydra support's a bit too much. There's no Colossi to get rid of those Hydras like before. The Stalkers will try and blink behind, perhaps. That'd be cute. There's a fungal growth to try and slow them down, though. And well, now this south side base is going to go down as Stalkers intercept some reinforcements. Again, it's nice. It's something. But at the same time, 19 probes fall. And DnS cannot stay in this game forever right here. Nerchio. In a 21-minute game, number 1 shows us the power of his Zerg macro in the ZvP. Shows us the power of his army backing away. I mean, these Stalkers up to the top side are going to be picking away a couple of queens. So those queens will go down, and it's going to be seeing the Highers and Corruptors continue to come up to the top side as well. Stalkers blinking their way through the top, and it's going to be picking off a hatchery. Hatchery gets picked off, and yeah, Stalkers still just trying to do a little bit more, find themselves, whatever that was. I don't even know at this point. This is really all DnS has, though. A couple of Stalkers running around the map haphazardly, loses a couple of them now to just a single Broodlord worth of Broodlings. That's how vulnerable they are. Nerchio taking his time, just stopping these Stalkers from being too annoying, but really, he could just go push any base he wants to, because DnS has basically no income any longer. That's one of the issues as well. Again, these Stalkers are just playing DnS for a bit of a fool, running around in circles, but again, eventually there's not going to be enough, and DnS knows it. And that's why he does type out GG. Nerchio takes game. Let's see what's going to happen as we load on in. To the top right hand side, up 1 game in the best of 5. Guys, give it up if you're cheering on Euronics Gaming's Nerchio. Bottom left, our blue Protoss player from Cascade, DnS. Interested to see what N2 brings us. What does DnS change? What does Nerchio change? The Roach Hydra style is not one you see all the time nowadays. So it could definitely be one that we don't necessarily see a second time around here. Hatchery. Gas. Soon to be spawning pool on the way up. Nexus first from DnS. That's already a bit of a difference, going Nexus first this time. I wonder if he'll try and I wonder if he'll try to I don't know. I wonder if he'll try the shield battery thing again on the third base, but I was thinking about it. I didn't know if I wanted to say it and bring it up again, but maybe. It was a cool idea, but it didn't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Crow grabs a few minerals, and it's just gonna nibble away the drone. Nerchio pulls a lot of drones to fight that probe, maybe. Really a little bit tilted about the idea of being under attack there. Probe moving around, seeing where it can go, seeing what it can do. Cybernetics core is on the way up at the moment from DnS. Obviously nothing crazy there. What is worth mentioning on the natural is the double gateway. Nexus first in a double gate with the Corona boost now means these two adepts come out very quickly. So not only do you get Nexus first levels of economy, but you get these two adepts so fast that boy are they going to be able to force some units, get some damage done, and really push the Protoss player into a bit of an eco advantage in the early stages. So these two adepts starting to come across now, coming in towards the upper right hand side. How much damage can they do? You can already see though, 32 probes to 26 drones, and Nerchio has to make some units here, some lings, to make sure that he can defend against this. The adepts don't even commit. He's just doing damage by forcing units out. Fortunately, Nerchio only made 6 lings, so it's not that many. In fact, it's enough where, really, if DnS finds a chance to shading in would not be so bad, because he probably could target down a couple of drones. And we'll cancel it right there, as those lings are visible. It's going to keep the adepts alive. A Stargate follow-up. Keeping the adepts alive does give him opportunities as well, of course. If the adept's alive, it means he can follow up with an adept attack with the first few oracles. And that could go a long way as well. Definitely be something that could be beneficial. Adept oracle attacks are something we see fairly regularly. Setting it up, waiting to see. Again here, just what is the next sort of stage of this. First oracle coming over, second oracle on the way, robo facility behind it. Still not much of an indicator as to what exactly is going to be going on. Twilight Council too. Pretty much all the standard stuff then, I guess, starting to come up behind the oracles. Nothing really too crazy. Both oracles join up together. Probably want to move across the map again and try and find a couple of opportunities here. No direct damage by these oracles though, not a single kill so far. Nerchio defends pretty well, I think we can say overall. They're on the way up, Eva Chamber coming down, Templar Archives starts as well now from DnS. Really again, all the standard things at the moment. Everything we kind of expected to be. Just setting on up, so DnS getting rolling here. Meanwhile, Alair on the way up from Nerchio. Roaches once again on the way out early. I don't mind the little roaches, especially against this build where we're going to be seeing Archon drops in a moment or two off that War Prism and the High Templars. And the Templar Archives, aka High Templars, going to morph into Archons. Yeah, I don't really mind the roaches. I think they're a really good way to actually deal with this, I guess. Roaches are just a little bit more sturdy than the Zerglings, so it can go quite nicely. Obviously, it's how Nerchio's enjoying playing ZvP right now. Roach focused. Lurker or Hydra transition. Maybe we see Lurkers this time. Obviously, we saw those a little bit in game number, or in his earlier series against Showtime in the quarterfinals. And something we did see before is status wards go down and they catch a couple of drones. Pretty good pull aways from Nerchio, really. Only 2 drones caught in 2 stasis, so yeah, you should be pretty happy with that as well. And well, DnS now with a second War Prism, it's going to go towards the main base. Try and do some more damage here. So DnS going to be trying to move around, find damage. He drops on top of this Queen. I mean, this is the first thing he's really going to pick off of these Archons. Nicely done, and again, just lifts up out of there. A second Prism to the top side. Not doing anything just yet. War Prism will be very useful when charge is done, because those charge lots are so deadly moving in towards bases. Again, another stasis came down, another couple drones trapped. But still a good response by Nerchio, not really letting DnS get any of those mega stasis wards, which obviously usually go a very long way to slowing the Protoss player down. Revelation will just hit a couple of creep tumors, trying to push some of that back at least. So some creep being pushed back at the moment, nothing really too crazy. And we're just going to be seeing these Hydras on the way up as well. Spire going to finish up Infestation Pit 2. All attack from Nerchio. Now on the way. Getting into a fairly standard game here. The Storm starts up for DnS. Shield Battery's coming up too. Heading in towards this full-on free base play. And all the tools you might need, as we see one of the Oracles will revelate as it gets caught. Oh, another Oracle just flies back over the rest of the reinforcing Hydralisks. Wow, Nerchio, well, he sees this Oracle, and this time I don't think he will let it get away. And he will indeed kill it, so revelations are done for now. Nerchio's 5th base under attack by a lone Zealot to the top side. Meanwhile, any attempt to take this 4th from DnS will be shut down pretty swiftly. As Nerchio not wasting any time at all, going in towards Hive Tech behind this either. Wants to go in towards a setup where he can get Vipers up and really have an army that can trade throughout this next few minutes. So the Roach Hydra army is good, but it loses value over time quite quickly. Nerchio actually going straight into Corruptors again. Is he going to go straight into... He's already got the Spire, right? Is he just going to go straight into Greater Spire? I mean, DnS this time doesn't have Colossi in his army, so there's no real need for Corruptors. Unless you are going to make the Greater Spire. So I guess we're going straight to Brutalist for Nerchio here in game at number 2. I wonder if DnS can just fix his scouting just a little bit. Just to get on top of that idea that this is going to be Brutalords, and so you can prepare a little bit more for it just a little bit faster this time around. That'd be a nice little change up. A couple of spores coming up on the creep tumors here, and we're going to be seeing those Archon Zealots moving forward. High Templars will drop the first storm. Nerchio has to start splitting pretty quickly now. And those Corruptors don't really add a lot apart from potentially soaking some shots from a few of these units now. To the right hand side of the map, it is going to be a bunch of Zealots running in as well, though, and Nerchio is pretty quick to respond, but is he quick enough? The Zealots are still on the hatchery, and it looks as though the hatchery might very well fall. He comes in very close, and I think he is actually maybe just going to save it. No, maybe not. Oh, I really thought he had it there. Meanwhile, the Greater Spire gets low, but doesn't go down. That's huge, because if you have to rebuild the Spire, and then still the Greater Spire, man, oh, those Corruptors going to be useless for so long. More Prism to the south side will be very happy with the damage dealt here. Very nearly got the Greater Spire. Man, it would be worth just sending another set of Zealots in, just to try and get that, because that would be a huge pick-off. Especially if you get it before the first Broods come on the map. But at any stage of the game, really, getting the Greater Spire is going to be a big victory, something that you should be very happy with as the Zerg. As the Protoss, sorry. Well, let's see if you can get it now. We can see how low it is. Actually off creep, so it's going to die on its own anyways. So the Greater Spire will go down because the hatchery is dead and the creep has dissipated from that side. So the Greater Spire goes down. Now, Nerchio hadn't started to rebuild it, but he did start up 6 Broodlords. So he's got 6 Broods. Now these Hydras are going to be in a little bit of trouble again as they run straight in towards that Archon and the other units. More Zealots up in towards the right side again, looking to, again, keep this base down, keep it from being really mined from this time. Nerchio's in position though, and the Zealots will not do much at all. A little bit of a waste there this time from DnS, but you've got to try these Zealot run-bys because sometimes you strike gold, such as killing the base and the Spire. This time, Nerchio was just a little bit too ready for it, came in a little bit too soon, really. Down to the south side. Nerchio is getting into position here. Carrier's on the way up from DnS though, so DnS is ready to hit his late game. He's ready to go into carriers. He's already got a couple up on the map. Nerchio, is he prepared to fight against carriers? Well, can't really say that he is, honestly. I don't think he is at all anyways. I mean, he's got what, just pure Hydra on the map? Not really what you need to fight carriers. Especially as more of them come on, you're looking at, you know, the need for infestors, maybe more corruptors. I just don't know if Nerchio's going to have what he needs. DnS looking great here on Blackpink in game 2 of the best of 5. You can see Archons and Stalkers just taking a little bit of a fight. Well, that's not good for Nerchio at all. He's going to lose some corruptors for free. I mean, there's absolutely no need to be losing corruptors like that. Especially in a situation where you need pretty much every single thing you can get against the air units. DnS is going to be under siege on his 3rd base, but under siege on his 3rd base, he'll still be able to bring his army across to start fighting against it. We're going to see Hydra's getting rid of a Zealot. Well, Prism will go across the map with Immortals. Immortals not as useful in this late game composition now, so using them to drop and to harass instead is a little bit of a nice way to still find some value with them. Bottom right base does get cancelled here. And these Zerg units, these Hydras, are turning out to be a little bit more of a nuisance than we originally thought, perhaps. Carriers coming in to start defending this. Nerchio backs away, seeing the carriers for one of the first times this game. Broodlings drop down, but everything is cloaked up over here by the mothership. Overseers were moving away, so he didn't have the vision forever. Zealots attacking again, and with the Immortals doing a little bit, but the Warp Prison gets taken down pretty swiftly again. Nerchio's not letting any further damage be dealt to him here. He's been pretty good about that in the last couple of minutes. And down the right side, you're going to be seeing a probe, a couple of Zealots there from DnS. I'm going to get picked away at as well. Not sure why he had a probe on this side of the map anyways. It's not like he really wants a base over here or something, so really not too sure about that one. As we do see Pathogen Glands coming up, that's the upgrade which gets the infestors more starting energy, which means they can start off with the fungal growths right from the get-go. Hydras going back up the right side. Bow upgrade coming in through from Nerchio as well. Turning into a bit of a slower game right now. A few moments here where we're just waiting to see what's going to happen, waiting for the larger armies to clash into each other. Thing is, though, over time, well, this Protoss army gets scarier and scarier. It's going to start pushing to the top side now. And we see Nerchio doesn't really have static defense in terms of spore crawlers, etc., to try and fight against this. A couple of storms coming down. That's a nice storm on the end of that fight here. Is going to be seen well. Probably just going to fly right on into this here. They're going to try and fight against these carriers, but they just disappear. Nerchio's going to keep on trying to trade, but now he doesn't really have anything left, and the broods are just going to disappear instantly behind this. And we're going to be seeing DnS actually loses pretty much whatever he had on the ground, but the carriers are just still unstoppable. Moving forwards now, they're just going to go after a whole bunch of different spore crawlers, and well, I mean, is there actually a way to stop this army? Hydras and Corruptors are popping out, but they're going to be popping all over the place. They need to find a way to gather themselves together. But I don't think there's actually a way that wave 2 of this works out. I think it's just going to be too much, and DnS has a little bit too much right now. He's going to be picking off that hatchery, and Corruptors are going to chase it. Honestly, there just isn't enough here, I don't think. Corruptors will fight against this. The time warp goes down. Mothership probably going to die pretty soon. Carriers are starting to be pushed back a little bit. Immortals and Archons trying to help out where they can. Every Corruptor's going to fall. Carrier count's dropping, but is it dropping enough? Some storms, I think, will just say no. DnS takes game 2. Final of GO4SC2 today. To the top left-hand side from Euronics Gaming. Our red Zerg player is Nerchio. That's not the button I wanted to press. This one was. There we go. To do some spinning, not to put us backwards and forwards. Top right, the blue Protoss player from Cascade is DnS. So setting up, looking to see what's going to happen over the next couple of minutes, of course. We're going to see what the builds are going to be here on Battle on the Boardwalk. DnS going to start by taking the gold base, which is something that a lot of Protoss players are doing. It's kind of like a far away natural, because the only entrance to it that's open in the start of the game is through your own main, but the left hand side is obviously open too, but only if you kill the rocks. Obviously it's very far away from the main base in the other corner of the map, although it is a very kind of skinny map, I suppose. I mean, it's weird. It's weird. But yeah, people have been taking this gold base a lot, so obviously it's something that people enjoy doing on Battle on the Boardwalk, and we'll see if the plan of DnS here in the long term will be enough for him. DnS seems to be doing pretty good. Like, the first time he got kind of caught off guard a little bit, I would say, by the Broodlords. But he still made it work for a little while, but he just couldn't keep up. In this game, he was very prepared for Broodlords, and they weren't really able to do anything. So Nerchio just really fell behind because he wasn't preparing for late game. Nerchio was in this weird position where he wasn't really preparing for late game, I would say. He was preparing for like, you know, like a Broodlord timing attack. And beyond the Broodlord timing attack, he didn't really have anything to play late game with. Like, he skipped Infestors completely. You know, he had nothing to deal with carriers, basically. So, it was not a pretty scenario for him moving forwards. As you can see, the Stargate here from DnS is about to finish up. Just getting this set up and rolling. The shield batteries right now coming down in mineral lines. As is DnS looking to defend here. Sure, not being too aggressive early game in any of these ZvPs today. Playing it out to the later stages time after time. As you do have this Oracle coming over. I'm gonna just poke in towards the third base and see what I can do. A couple of queens coming forward. We're gonna see a drone taking some damage. One drone killed. That's about it for now. Any more drones on the way up, and we are just gonna be seeing the this Oracle coming over back home. Only one kill. Not the best of startups here from DnS so far. Robo Twilight Forge follow up all the structures we need for the Protoss mid game, as we've been talking about a few times today already. Rotron is starting to build from Nerchio as well, so starting to get that going. Been playing the Roaches again and again. He's making a lot of things right now as well to, I guess, defend. It's not really anything to be aggressive for. One of the interesting things about this map is actually just how I guess the late game plays on it, which is it's very difficult to attack on this map. A very narrow top side pathway, very narrow mid pathway, bit of a wide, of a mid pathway, but it's very difficult to attack and to push through. So it's definitely a map that can go split map if players can get up to a defensive sort of state. As you'll see, Zerglings right now are not going to have much luck at all, and Oracles will pop their pulsar beams. And then Nerchio really trying to stick around for long enough to force the pulsar beams to pop there with those lings. What's up, LaserSec coming in with the 8-month resub. Wardy supply drop flies away. Thank you so much for the 8 months. Get some Wardy hearts in the chat, please, for LaserSec. And for his 8-month resub. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Lings are going to set up on this watchtower for a moment as Queens do push a couple of Oracles away. Revelation will just come down to, again, keep track of a couple bits and pieces, see what's going on. These Oracles are so much about the vision and about map control. That's, of course, why he's making the most of them right now. With the Hydra's den starting up, and still just looking so similar to what we've seen previously. Again, really no surprises so far out of Nerchio, I have to say, as we do see this War Prism comes over to the left-hand side, and well, I'm going to see DnS starting to put on a lot of pressure here with Zealots and Archons. He's going to be looping around different locations all over the place and trying to make the most of this Archon comp. Meanwhile, Stasis will come down on the natural once again, which has already done a little bit of damage. These things are a little bit slow to move forwards here, and we'll pull back to get the lanes a full surround on these Zealots. Meanwhile, Archons coming in towards the 4th base. 9 drones have been killed, and Stas has got another couple of workers on the natural too. So all adding up in favor of DnS so far. Some nice harassment, obviously costing them a few Zerglings, etc., but not doing so badly. 62% of the chat vote is on Nerchio's side of this, by the way, right now. 38% of it on DnS's. If you guys are enjoying the games and enjoying the players, hashtag one of the players in the chat. Let us know who you're supporting. Let us know who you're cheering on throughout this series. Oracle's come in and put a status ward in front of the natural now, or the 3rd base. This is always going to get me, because this to me is always the natural, but obviously the gold base is there, so it's kind of like the third. Anyways, he's going to put stasis in front of it and going to start setting up. Couple more oracles down the right hand side, and well, there's a Nidus network from Nerchio. It's something we haven't really seen yet. Wonder why. I wonder why, and I wonder where. Actually, more than anything. Just gonna push through this side. Nidus on the bottom, hit the gold base. Yeah, I really don't know. He's going to push through those rocks, which I think makes a lot of sense. War Prism, 2 War Prisms actually on the map at the moment. Not even over here to defend, not really a lot. The stasis ward would do a lot. No Overseer nearby. So they're just going to wander right on into that there. A little bit of a mistake to begin with, as we do have the Zealots. So come out of this Prism, another one on this base here as well. And there's that Nidus just going to come in behind the gold mineral line. I mean, DnS is just so far away. How do you ever actually counter this? That's the thing. He's going to go across the map, maybe? He's starting to push, but if he goes across the map, the issue very quickly becomes that Nerchio just jumps in the Nidus to get home very quickly as well. You can see this one High Templar is not really going to do a lot. Survives a little while due to the shield battery, but gold base is being annihilated, and I just don't know what does DnS really try and go across the map? Now Nidus comes in on the natural. Oh, this is kind of deadly here from Nerchio. This Nidus is just going to give him so much mobility from bottom right to top right, and well, that's going to really hurt. We're just going to see a few of these Hydras finish off this hatch. There's the Nidus in the main, but does he just go back home? Or maybe, because that's where the army's starting to come to. Army comes over into this side, and we've seen the Hydras already into a little bit of a concave. First storm comes down, doesn't do much though. One more storm, and again Hydra taking a little bit more damage. Inside is going to be able to pick away a few more of these pylons. A couple more pylons going down. Now the main base is under attack. I mean, what can you even say? This is an absolute disaster here for DnS. Everything is going wrong for him. Everything which he needs to be keeping alive is not being kept alive. And while at the same time he's trying to push forwards, but is it going to be with enough units? The storms have been pretty good so far, and they're hitting onto a lot of the Roach Hydra, which is great. But he's still got to find a way to overall push through in the end, and right now that is not happening. I'm just going to pick up a brand new Immortal which just popped out. If he targets it again, he's going to focus on the Nexus. He will get the Immortal as well there in the end too. At the same time, here comes the drones with the Roaches now pushing forwards to clean up a bit of this. The Immortal's a bit too strong perhaps. That's Nerchio. Going to bring these Hydras back home once again. A new Nexus has been built on what would have been the 4th base. It's now kind of acted as a 2nd base. So many more Hydras at home and some Zealots in the main. 9 drones have gone down. Nerchio still holds the worker lead, 59 to 49. And he has bases to mine with all of those workers from. The 49 workers of DnS is already pushing it just slightly. I'm just going to jump back into the Nidus. Where to? I guess just back in towards the main, right? Pick away at more of the production. And this time DnS is at home, but does he go into the main to fight this? I mean, I just don't know. I don't think he really can justify it, but if he doesn't, he's going to lose power to 6 of his 9 gateways. That ain't pretty. That ain't pretty at all. He is going to start coming in towards the main base. A couple of High Templar here. Do they not have Storm? They do. Just not using it just yet. Some Storms coming down as I think Nerchio's kind of happy to just fight from behind the mineral line, obviously. Those Zealots get choked up. They don't do as much as they maybe should have done, and well, Nerchio is once again just pushing forwards here, taking the lead in game number 3. Almost doubling the supply of his opponent now, as we're going to see him continue to push forwards. That shield battery doesn't have any energy left. Immortal goes down. Pylons are going to keep dropping. Gates are going to be unpowered still. Another robo facility on the low ground. Some Zealots will charge forwards. Again, those Hydras are squishy. They go down pretty quick if they get attacked. A few more Hydras coming through them. There's just too many of them. Critical mass has been achieved. GG says DnS as Nerchio takes game 3. Friend, appreciate it. Alright then, let's do this to the bottom right hand side of the map from Euronics Gaming. Our red player, he is Zerg. It is Nerchio. Top left, our Blue Protoss player from Cascade. Give it up if you're cheering on DnS. What are we thinking then for Game 4? I don't really know. Let's see what you guys are thinking in the chat for each player. Still pretty close. 62 to 38% of the votes so far. So you can hashtag Nerchio, you can hashtag DnS in chat to show your support for whoever you're cheering on here today, guys, in this grand final of GO4SC2. 100 euros on the line when it does take all. Obviously, you still get WCS, sorry, not WCS, that'd be mental. Some GO4SC2 points as well for the month, which can help you make the monthly finals too, which is something DnS will have to look at as maybe a blessing still if he does end up losing this game and losing the series. It's been a decent stream in the end, isn't it? It's what, 5.5 hours in right now, so it's going to be a 6-hour stream. About that. Feels pretty good so far, man. You guys have been enjoying all day long. It's been a lot of great StarCraft as we see this pylon cancel, the depth shades away. Not going to commit to any sort of shield battery rush, realizing there's just too many lings in position to shut that down nice and quick. Depth going to go up towards the upper left side. It's going to jump in between the Cybernetics core and the gateway and just wait to see what's next. Couple gateways on the way down. Oracle was the tech choice initially, and it is the first one already moving across the map here to see what is going on, see what it can get up to. Drone pops, becomes a spore crawler instantly. Will become another spore crawler. Try to stay alive, and the Queen will save the day. Too lot of damage taken on the Oracle there. Oh, Oracle very nearly going down. Does get pushed away up the right hand side though. And that will be that. Couple hashtag Nerchios coming in from Nick Jax as well as Glitchu. Hashtag Nerchio. Still pretty close on the polls though. Still pretty close on the votes. Keep those votes coming in, guys, with those hashtags in the chat. RoboFortune Twilight. We've heard this one before. The RoboFortune Twilight is all Protoss needs anymore. God, that's going so well. A GO4SC2 win should give you 1 WCS point. We actually, I think it's been talked about a lot. The idea of giving out WCS points for not for GO4SC2 events, but for other events outside of the WCS circuit. Like some online stuff and so on. Like very small amount of WCS points, but still some. It's an interesting idea. Interesting idea, but hard to get, I think, validation for from Blizzard, right? They have a certain standard of quality they have to hold WCS up to. They're pretty great, though. DnS with plenty more gates on the way up. Temple Archives in charge. And he's heading in towards that. Probably the same sort of style as what we just saw in the last game, where he's going to be playing the kind of aggressive, the aggressive push around, poke around with the charged lots and Archons. Maybe even a bit more aggressively this time around here on Ascension than the last time. I'm just going to see this Phoenix chasing down this Overlord as well. It's taking quite a beat in that Overlord. A lot of lings here from Nerchio going to arrive over towards the left-hand side as well. I'm going to be picking off one probe already. Another probe going to be under fire too. So 2 probes killed and maybe 3 or 4. So a lot of lings actually, and there's not many units in position apparently to help deal with this. Cybercore taking some damage at depths have come forwards, but they're already shading back. We'll pull the units off of the wall for just a few moments. Is it for long enough as Nerchio loses a few lings there? Meanwhile, Warp Prism is set to the top right-hand side. Archons will be morphed in first, imaginably, and there it is for High Templar. See if he just drops the Archons, as whether he has planned to warp in Zealots too. He's already going to warp in 4 Zealots, so he's getting set. Meanwhile, to the south side, well, it's not quite a Warp Prism, it's an Oracle, but the idea of multi-pronged aggression could go a long way for DnS here in this game. number. Quite sure. So that's an Archon's charging in, but there's a fair amount of roaches. Obviously the Prism's here to pick up the Archon, so it's basically Zealots for roaches. It's a fairly decent trade, as we're going to be seeing these Adepts do arrive in towards the natural expansion, and they're going to start picking their way through this Queen. So Queen taking some shots. Meanwhile, Zealots warping in once again, and DnS attacking again up towards this top side. A few roaches were pulling back, but now they're back in the fray, but pulling back once more. Not really find themselves being enough to hold off against this Archon drop. Roaches going to continue to work their way through this. The Zealots will go down, but also so will the 4th base. The 4th base picked off here. Now the War Prism starting to escape. Move towards the upper left-hand side. Very, very much. I am Rakit, who donates $2.36. Says, keep up the good work. Really enjoy your content. Well, thank you very much for the kind words. Get some love in the chat, please, for Rakit. Thanks for the $2. Appreciate it. In the main base, Zealots are getting the main hatchery. Grovelo as well. Nerchio's already lost the 4th base. Now his main base also low. He needs to be a little bit careful about that. Drones will transfer back, but these War Prisms are causing a lot of chaos for Nerchio right now, and well, Aspire's on the way up. Something like Mutas this time around would do a good job in terms of shutting down the Warp Prisms, and that might just be what, I guess Inspire. You could inspire Nerchio to go in towards something like Mutas or so. And he's going to go for 9 meters right away here, but DnS might have a bit of an inkling about it, because where's that Spire? In the 3rd base, I guess? He hasn't seen it. Did start up a Phoenix there for a moment or so, though. So I'm about halfway done. He's got 2 Phoenix on the maps. There's 1, there's 2. Roaches looking to see if they can find an opportunity, but they don't see anything just yet. Infestation Pit dropping down now as well here for Nerchio. No Zealots in the main, and this main was low from before. I don't think there's really a way Nerchio saves it this time around unless he doesn't target it and goes after Hydras and drones instead. And so far, going after Hydras, but he gets 2, 3, and 4. And he will still... he's going to go for the Queen. He's not actually really target fighting at all here, so the hatchery might not go down. In fact, it doesn't, but still good damage. You can't deny a Hydra and a Queen per Zealot. Take that any day. However, Warp Prism stayed warped in, and that was its mistake. It meets its downfall here as the Hydras move to the side of the base. Pick it off nice and easily. Very nicely done. Roaches, Hydras pushing up the right-hand side. We're going to be seeing the Zealots cleaned out again. And again, the Mutas just flying around looking for opportunities to do some more damage. What's up, King Doom SC coming in with a donation as well. Says, thanks for the daily streams to enjoy. Keep it going with the $3. Thank you very much for the $3. Get some more hearts in the chat for King Doom SC as well. Give you guys a proper shout out and some love. A little bit more extended love after this game. And we're out of game. Rather than when we're meant to be talking about the game. Because otherwise people get really annoyed at me. Sad face. 9 workers off an Oracle. Just no protection at all on that 4th base, 5th base, whatever it is now. Yes, that's the 4th, that's the 5th. Meanwhile, Roaches and Hydras on the other side of the map. Lurkers as well, and obviously we've seen the Lurkers kind of help Nerchio out heavily at one point today. DnS's supply is actually much lower than I thought it would be, considering how the game has gone. 4th base denied. So Nerchio, while he was losing hatcheries, DnS has been losing some bits and pieces as well. Nerchio actually still kind of maxed out here against the 156 supply of DnS. Meters over to the right will pick off this Warp Prism. A few more Lurkers just on the way up, and a couple of Overseers will be coming through as well now. And that's just still with a maxed out army. But maxed out on Roach Hydra Lurker is not necessarily the best of armies. It's not necessarily the super late game you want to play is going to see Lurker starting to fire in. That's going to be a free immortal in the front. No, Nerchio backs away before you can get it. Hive will finish soon, giving Nerchio a little bit more access to some better tech here. So far, no Sky Toss transition out of DnS either. Is going to be pulling him back, Nerchio. Still looking for those windows to dive in to deal damage. Lurker spreading out again. Again, it's kind of similar to what we saw in one of the previous games where in a more open area, it's actually Showtime Nerchio, where in a more open area, Showtime is very happy to fight Lurkers. That might be true of DnS right now. He's taking a couple of free shots right away. Storm coming down. Nerchio units clump in. Has to be very careful about that if he is fighting against these storms. Stepping backwards with the Roach Hydra. There's a couple of, a couple of Lurkers still up to the top side, but that's about it. Nerchio now splits up his army. So many storms coming on down here. And DnS is going to take the supply lead. Nerchio rebuilds 18 Hydralisks right away. 6 more Lurkers on the way up. Nerchio evacuating this 5th base now. So that's 4 bases for himself at the moment. As we're going to see, Mirza going to commit on towards the High Templar, even forcing a Storm out already. It's nice. He gets 2 of the High Templar. He's going to get free and force the Archon. Well, now there's no Storms available, and that is a bit of a different scenario compared to what we just saw before this. Now Lurkers are going to chase on forwards and burrow, and obviously just keep on forcing these units back. So that's going down very quickly. You can see a couple of mortals here under some very heavy fire, actually. Taking some real heavy hits. And gathering up once again. We'll put them over to the right side. A bit of a back and forth one, but I think Nerchio is definitely hurting a little bit right now. He's getting a Corruptor up. Why is he getting a Corruptor? A misclick? Just feels like he needs it. I'm not too sure. Just backing away again. More units in the center. Revelation comes down. Overlord gets picked off, and again, Hydra's Lurkers still setting up here for Nerchio. The Lurkers can definitely carry Nerchio for a fight, but, well, does DnS mess the fight up that badly? Because it would require to take mistakes on DnS's part more than anything. I don't know if I like this for Nerchio. These Lurkers feel a bit too spread out. You know, all the way up here. If the fight happens here, these Lurkers up here aren't fighting. If he puts them more in a curve, maybe it'd be a bit better. First dodge of the storm. Pretty good. Dodges another storm here. So it's chasing down to the south side as I don't think Nerchio can stay alive at all. DnS seems to have way too much. Pushing on forwards. I'm going to be seeing him pushing all the way through this, and DnS really doesn't have much trouble at all. Pushes all the way through. And I mean, again, Nerchio just on pure Hydra, pure Roach. It's not enough at this stage of the game, and I don't know, Roach Hydra, it's a very old school comp, and there's a reason people haven't used Roach Hydra for a very long time. It's interesting to see Nerchio using it again and again here, but you know, DnS is just using the unit composition that we know works very well against Roach Hydra. He's playing patient against it, just attacks his own wall prison to make life difficult. Opening 7 Stalkers. DnS is a little bit afraid perhaps of this Hydra count. It is a little bit terrifying. No storms for him to utilize either, as we're going to be seeing the Hydras pulling backwards still. Getting into their own better concave rather than the choke point. Grabs himself an Archon. This Immortal goes down too, and now drones are going to pull in to help defend. And we've seen the Stasis Ward got killed off during its placement. Hydra's still trading out. Another Archon goes down, but more Zealots and DTs warping in. No detection here, and so these DTs will be able to probably shut this down. Zealots are getting murdered at the moment by those few Hydras, but again, it's going to be a little bit too much here from DnS. I think at some point soon, Nerchio will just have to type one out. A few Roaches going to go down here. DTs move forwards again. And a few Zars. We're going to see the Hydra's going to try and get the Prism, and he does get it. So reinforcements are going to be stopped. The Hydras have just forced a blink out of those Stalkers too. So Nerchio is going to clean this up. Overseer as well to help against the DTs. He's going to save his 4th base as well. Nerchio defends, but not really. For how much longer? For how much longer? Well, Prism up top gets pushed away. Not dead, just pushed back. A Void Ray from DnS? Is he afraid of Broodlords, perhaps? I guess so. I guess so. 70 probes, 60 drones. Nerchio just doesn't have an army to fight with. Another Stalker warps in here once more, and DnS army's good. It's good to fight, I think. It's good to take the game. Just needs the confidence to be able to do that. As Nerchio will get a few more lurkers up once again. I think, to be fair, DnS has no you didn't have any Immortals or Archons or Storms after that. It's worth waiting a little while to get those back, because they are very important parts of your army, and without it, you wouldn't be having such a good time so far. Wolfism through the top side again. Seeing where I can go. Stalkers to the south, going to find an Overlord. Bits and pieces and pokes and prods. 18 minutes into this 4th game. We are getting a 5th game here today in the GO4SC2. Grand final. Good to see. Army moves in towards the center and looks to see what he can get up to. A couple of Archons are going to be able to pick off this Overlord. Revelation goes down on the Hydras. The Lurkers caught in it as well. Obviously the Revelation, a very reliable way of seeing where those Lurkers are at any point. You don't need the Observer to stay alive during the fight if you've got the Revelation down. Nerchio's army is getting close to maxing out again, but the reality is, it just won't matter. If it's just still the same old quality as it was before, it's not going to start suddenly doing any better. Broodlords are on the way up, Great Spire's coming through, it's about halfway done. Just is down a high tempo. Little things like this, I mean, they're keeping Nerchio in the game. So let's warp in towards the main base again. Nerchio has to send a lot to come and deal with this, especially this hatchery so low from earlier. It's going to go down pretty quickly, but, well, it costs a lot of zealots to get that for DnS, about 10 zealots for 300 mineral hatchery, which is, well, pretty much mined out anyways, so it's not the end of the world at all. One of Nerchio's bigger issues in the fights has definitely been the storms landing on his army multiple times, and he's been unable to dodge away from them a lot of the time as well. You know, maybe he has one good dodge or something along those lines, and then suddenly he just ends up standing in the next 2 storms, and then it's all like, well, that wasn't pretty, was it? Infest is on the way. And DnS is just going to play it into carriers. May as well play safe. If you're ahead, why throw it away? Take another couple minutes, make sure you're going to win. Good way to go about it is going to see a couple of units picked off down here. One of them a probe. Not sure what the other one was. A Stalker here. But it does reveal that army, and so all of a sudden Nerchio can't continue with that attack because it's figured out. They know where it's going to go. Carriers are going to continue to reduce here. DnS killing off a couple of units so you could afford another carrier in terms of supply. Broodlords are on the way, but again, with carriers already up, it's really going to be, well, they're really just going to disappear. Nice little catch on some Archons and a Zealot to the south side. Some more Zealots and an Immortal coming over. Nerchio does have an army on the map, as we've seen, to be able to deal with this. And that is what he's going to be able to do, bring these Hydras in. Zealots are dropping. There's an Immortal starting to drop as well. Nerchio fighting well. I'm just worried about the fact he has to play against the carriers. The carriers are going to be powerful. They're going to be difficult to fight against. We saw it in the previous game that DnS won. The carriers are very powerful indeed. So, let's see if Nerchio has a way to fight them, has a way to engage into them. I like the addition of the infestors. Obviously we saw them in one of the previous games. We didn't really manage to use them very often. Hopefully this time is a little bit different. So the infestors are one of the things that could help Nerchio out enough here. Another couple of infestors coming in again. And more Broodlords in the sky. And what we're going up to right now, we're talking about as harassment continues around the map. We're talking about 24 Hydras, about 5 Broods, 3 Corruptors, 9 Roaches. 24 Hydras is the big thing. 5 Infestors is nice. The 9 Lurkers do support the ground quite nicely. Although right now there's not a lot on the ground for these Lurkers to kill, so they're kind of starting to be a little bit of dead weight. Might be nice to start moving those Lurkers around the map and using those as a way to deny bases and to harass the Protoss player here. Couple pounds going down. War Prism is sighted. Does just go down with the Archons inside. Nice catch. Thing is, every single unit you kill like this, the more that, you know, DnS just builds into extra carriers. So again, eventually Nerchio needs to have a way to fight carriers. I don't know if that exists for him right now. You know, he's got the basics of it, like a couple of Infestors, some Corruptors and Hydras. It's cute. It works. Is it everything he needs? No. He needs a lot more than just this. Starts with that Pathogen Glance. So, group results here get taken down. Nerchio have a lot of minerals in the bank, but not much gas. And he's starting to replace some expansions from earlier in the game, or go to expansions he's never been to before as well. This Protoss army of DnS up to the top side as the Hydras denying a base down to the south. DnS once again expanding here, which Nerchio has denied once before. Resources loss is a little bit better for Nerchio, but he hasn't fought against carriers yet. He's not had a head-on engagement against carriers, and I think that is going to be what sort of tips things into DNS's favor. The carriers really are one of the more powerful units in this composition. And he's finally got so many of them. He'll find himself in position. In this base once again. This Nexus is probably going to go down, just gets cancelled. DNS going to back away, not going to push into the army before he has to. And for assembly, they're going to go down as well here. Couple pros getting picked off, DT swiping. It's a revelation on the army. Again, Nerchio denying bases of DNS. If he keeps this up, I mean, DNS will run out of money. DNS runs out of money. This game becomes a very interesting scenario suddenly. Nerchio continue to expand. DNS is going to re-expand up here once again. This time his army will try and protect it. Probe hides in the corner upon seeing the Zerg army in position, and there is the kill on that hatchery. DNS likes to play very passive late game games, and this is exactly the sort of army he loves to play with. A lot of storms available on the ground. He's got the carriers in the sky. He's got that mothership up. And I just sat waiting for the next movement here, really, by the players. That's the War Prism coming into play again from DNS. He's maxed out though, so it's not even going to really do much. Maybe just a threat, an empty threat of trying to bait Nerchio's units back. Nerchio turns around now. You know, that might not be so bad if we had a, I don't even know, actually. He had a couple of Vibers to kind of yank a couple of these War Prisms around, make it easier to clean up. I guess kills that one anyways. This War Prism now coming into play. On to the top side, Nerchio out of position, will just counter-attack. Is he just going to try and base trade this? Obviously there is a recall potential from DNS. That's something you can do nowadays. The Infested Terrans coming down from the Infestors as Brooklords will make that push forward. It's a base for a base here. The base of Nerchio that's basically mined out though versus a base which is very fresh. Base does go down. Nerchio now going to be losing his hive tech. So that's going to be the next thing. He's actually maybe going to be forced into this fight here. Here we go. Overseers are going to be a big part of this. We're going to see a lot of neural parasites coming down. Infestors and storms, though, are starting to die, which means the neural parasites aren't doing that much. I think it's quite obvious here that DnS is going to be coming out of this as the victor. The Broodlords weren't really part of this for the fight. Nerchio leaves. DnS square for our final game of this series of the day. It's been a great stream. Hope you've all had a lot of fun. It's time to wrap this up with one final matchup. To the top left-hand side, our red Zerg player is from Uranix Gaming. Give it up if you're cheering on Nerchio. Bottom right, the blue Protoss. Been up one heck of a fight from Cascade. It's DnS. Again, thank you guys for the donations during the last game. Rakit and King Doom. Appreciate. Your support goes a long way to helping us sustain the stream and keep on streaming as much as we do. DnS is going to be cheeky here in game 4-5. Probably a proxied pylon for the proxy Stargate. I saw Showtime doing this a little bit earlier against Nerchio. Did lead him into a victory. As that pylon starts to come on up here. Ooh, look at Nerchio moving through the center. That's the second overlord. First one's already at the natural. It's both players expanding here early on Neon Violet Square to wrap this series up. What a finals this has been. A great set of games. It's a lot of fun today. A lot of fun. I'm a little bit tired, I'm not gonna lie. I'm very tired right now, where I'm like struggling along a little bit. I'm trying to stay focused. Gonna need a little bit of a nap after this before I mess around with other stuff tonight. But worth it for some StarCraft 2. Some good StarCraft 2 as well. The depths shading in, just looking to see what's up, and well, we do indeed see the proxied Stargate to the top side again. Point of this is, especially on Neon Violet Square, it's going to hit a lot faster if you build your Stargate on your opponent's side of the map than if you built it on your own base, especially because Neon Violet Square is such a large map. It can take a lot of time to get across the map, as you see a couple of drones going down. The depth does get picked off though, and DnS is going to move on in towards the main base to see what's happening. 4 workers killed, now 5, 6. Again, that's the power of the proxied Stargate, although only 4 kills on the Oracle and he loses it as well, so sits on the edge of the base. Now Nerchio comes over and he will find it, he'll go for the pylon. He's actually going to go for the Stargate. Interesting. If this was the pylon, would he have killed it in time? 500 damage? I think he would have killed it before the Oracle got out. Yes, he's going to kill the Stargate now. Maybe not, because he wouldn't have had a full surround. So yeah, maybe the Oracle gets out anyways. Second Oracle does come out here, will be starting to fly around. Twilight Council behind this, as DnS will also take the back base. You can take the back base very early because it's very easy to hold. And of course, once you have this back base, even though there's not a lot of minerals, you do have the extra gas income available to you in 4 Protoss. Well, that could just be the dream, couldn't it? Extra gas? Hell yeah. Oracle went into the main base there, but it wasn't as lucky as the first Oracle. Didn't really find anything before being turned away. And now Robo Facility to follow up from the Resonant Glaives that's coming through here, as DnS looks to follow up right now. Very similar to the proxied Stargate play we saw at our Showtime earlier, actually. Proxy Stargate into a Resonating Glaives upgrade. And then he went kind of aggressive showtime with a lot of adepts, and we'll see if it's going to be a similar idea here out of DnS, who starts with the Warp Prism. Extra free gateways on the way as well. Obviously he has a third Nexus, so it's not like he's been super aggressive here, but he definitely can warp in a lot of adepts off this, and there isn't a Forge yet either for grand upgrades, so he is committing quite a lot to adept production. 5 extra gates on the way up right now. It's actually looking maybe a bit more aggressive than I did originally think it was. Nerchio has a Roach Roaring up. No Roach has been made just yet though. He's going to see the first adept shading forwards. Will be spotted by a Zerglin, which of course gives him the idea to make some Roaches defensively. The only problem is with those Roaches when there's adepts in play is that those Roaches often are very slow, very immobile in comparison to the adepts, and well, adepts can just shade past those Roaches so easily. As you can see, the Glaives finishing up, and DnS, not a good time to be supply blocked as your extra gateways finish just before a big attack. So this isn't as pretty as it maybe should be for him. You've seen a push forwards, then these adepts coming through, and as he gets on supply blocked, another wave of adepts will get ready to go as well. Third hatch was just abandoned in terms of drones. The third hatch is actually taking quite a bit of damage. Some Roaches coming forwards. Again, adepts do have the Glaives. And they'll try and use that to advantage already. The Queen taking a lot of hits there, and I think he's just going to stick on the third base again. Why not? Stick here, you know you're going to kill the hatchery. It's a big deal. Especially when your opponent's going to now take the in-base as a fourth, which will now be the third. And again, it's just not as many mineral patches on that to get full 3-base saturation. Nice from DnS so far. These adepts have done their job initially. Go into Mortals behind this and also Blink. So we do see a Spire on the way up from Nerchio. And a Spire this early is not for Corruptors. A Spire this early is for probably Mutalisks. So this works out quite nicely as adepts will shade forwards again and just threaten. There's so many Roaches, there's no way he actually commits to this. And so he does just sit back and pick off the couple of Extractors that were left over here. Meanwhile, Prism into the main base will try and do a little bit of damage. A couple of drones already going down. That's 3 workers, plus the couple of Zerglins killed. Not bad going. That's DnS. Looking pretty good right now here in Game 5 of the series. The startup's definitely been favourable for him. It's definitely gone the way he would have wanted it to go. Now a double Stargate. Not sure how I feel about the double Stargate, but we'll see how it rolls out. I guess you just see the Spire. Is that what it is? Spire on the natural? Yeah. I guess he saw the Spire, and so he's just preparing for that Mutalisks play with a few Phoenix. So I guess the double Stargate does make a lot of sense. Now he jumps in towards this mineral line. He's going to get himself, well, 8 workers, but it's a lot of adepts going down. It's a lot of DnS's army that just disappears here. Maybe he'll spur Nerchio into some sort of counter-attack to try and take advantage of what was just lost by the Protoss. Again, a couple of Queens just helping to push back the Warp Prism play. Hydralisks on the way up, some Infestors on the way out. Stargate was not used here by DnS, just a couple of Phoenix, but the Mutas never came, so the Spire was never used either by Nerchio. As DnS pushes out towards the 4th base, Nerchio took the low ground in the end. His way of setting up into a little bit extra eco. Well, the high ground is being camped by those adepts. Nice revelation of the Oracle as it picks up 4 kills on the workers and then backs out of there. And Prism's going to come all the way back home for now. Some Stalkers warping in as well. I wonder if DnS gets aggressive at all. No Templar Archives yet. He's got a good amount of gates obviously from earlier. He's got no Templar Archives. He's still building Immortals and +1 about to finish. It's not a bad army against Roaches, right? I think that's what DnS has maybe been kind of adapting in towards lately. The idea of building up into something which is not just kind of, you know, which is a bit more kind of anti-Roach, because Nerchio's been playing this weird style, which has been so focused on the Roaches. Now, there is a few Hydras on the way up here. And so you see these Roaches moving over to this side. We're going to catch a Stalker or so. It's going to be Force Fields to trap them in. And that's a lot of Roaches from DnS. It's a circle of Force Fields. These Roaches can't go anywhere. Nerchio's going to lose a lot, and that might just trigger a full-on push across the map here. I love the Phoenix as well. It lifted a Stalker, which was trapped in the force fields. Keeps the Stalker safe when it gets trapped in where all these Protoss units seem to have each other's backs. Well, this gets very interesting now as extra Stalkers warp in. DnS is looking as though he's going to get aggressive. 100 to 109 army supply. That's 1 upgrades apiece. DnS, does he want to commit to this? He's getting Templar Archives. It's a few seconds away. Will he just wait, or will he really commit in once again? Well, let's see. Stalkers and Mortal Sentries spreading out. Nice Fungal Growth. Slows those units down, stops them from pushing forwards as much as they might like to. A couple more force fields goes well. That Fungal Growth misses once more. Yo, this fight is setting up to be a large one here in the next few moments. Lurker on the way. It's not ready yet, but in a few seconds, and then it will take 20 seconds for Lurkers to actually morph from Hydras. So they're not far off. They're not far off at all if he does want to get into the Lurker. I think Lurkers would be great here against the Stalkers, etc. I think they do very well. As you can see, nice Fungal Growth on top of this army. DnS did not really micro this initially. Now some force fields come down very late on into the fight. DnS and Nerchio trading blows at the moment, but is Nerchio who begins to back away here, actually. Nerchio is going to be pulling all the way back towards his base on the low ground now. DnS is, well, he's got Dark Shrine on the way, he's got Charge on the way up, he's beginning to transition through into different bits and pieces. He has got the Templar Archives, but no Storm yet. Also no Archons added on. Not sure if he was really meant to pop that Guardian Shield there. Doesn't really give him any bonuses, obviously, when not fighting. So a little bit of a misstep there, I suppose. Stalkers, Sentries, and Mortals coming all the way over to the left-hand side. Five more Corruptors coming on through, 7 more Zealots on the way in. So you're going to see a lot of army moving to the right-hand side. DnS might have to recall onto this Nexus, honestly. Take some energy though, and if he doesn't have it, then he might be in some trouble. Might just base trade this actually. You're gonna see the Stalkers still pushing forwards. Hydras, Ravagers pushing forwards too. I mean, yeah, this is starting to go in towards a bit of a base trading situation. Zealots already pushing units away from this low ground. And there's a lot of Lurkers here. The Lurkers are the one thing which defensively I think are one of the scary things you can go up against in a scenario like this. Pushing through, we're going to be seeing access given towards the natural now as the Zerg makes progress. DnS is starting to fail just a little bit here as he's picking off, well, an Undercover Troop 2, an Overseer. Still pushing towards these Hydras. I mean, the thing is, there's nowhere for the probes to run to go and make extra buildings out on the map or anything. Now I'm going to see these units starting to come back, but again, a recall. There's just no energy on the Nexus. There's energy on this Nexus, but now it's dead. What's DNS's plan? He has no buildings on the map. Like, if this could just end here. Like, it's very well on its way to ending right here. These gates are gonna go down. Does he go up into the main? There's a few Stalkers which can buy some time. Everything on this low ground is slowly falling as well. As units move up to the high ground, I think DnS is just in trouble. He can't build anything because he's lost all his production. He has no gateways left. DnS just caught out of position here, and no recalls available, didn't use any of them, no energy perhaps available, I'm not sure what it was, but whatever it was a big mistake by him to not have it ready to go. As we're going to see Nerchio, well, he's put DnS all the way down onto one single base, and now what? Single base, he has to build another pylon. Unless he's got some economy. He's got 12 workers, it's fine. Let's find some fungal growth on top of this army as Nerchio does lose pretty much everything over here. If DnS has a chance, he has to go counterattack. There's no way he can just sit at home and be like, ah, yeah, this is fine. He's going to try and take a new expansion out the front, but on the gold base, I mean, again, it's a nice idea, but he has to do something now. Like, I don't think sitting back's going to do anything for him. What on earth is he going to gain by sitting back right now? Like, he just lost his natural. He just lost his third. He just lost his fourth. He has not got the money to rebuild all of those. He's not got the economy to stay in game. You know, in the meantime, he killed like one base of the Zerg player. Wow, whoop-de-doo. You know, it's nice. It's not enough. It's nice. Lurkers at home are definitely a big part of forcing DnS to go back home. Now, if you just had a recall, you know, if you had a recall on this base, he had a recall on this base for a while. No, was it this one? I think he had on this one for a while. He just didn't use it. Would have brought this army back home so much faster. Would have been a lot better. Anyways, now DnS is going to move towards the gold base. We're going to see a fungal growth on the sentries and the immortal. It's going to be a dead couple of sentries there. The immortals going to be losing their varies as well. Warpism on the front lines. It's taken down pretty quickly. Playing Hydra Lurk is going to start pushing forwards. There's no force fields because he just killed the sentries in this gold base. If this goes down, I think so do the hopes of our Protoss player in this game. Number 5, DnS loses out on the Nexus. The pylon goes down as well. I mean, Nerchio is going to back away. He's even got Broodlords in the sky behind all of this. He's even got Broodlords in the sky behind all of this. I don't know, man. Oracle's going to get picked off, and we're just going to be seeing the... I don't know. Nerchio can just attack. I don't know if he's just savoring the moment of actually beating Protoss, but he definitely doesn't need to go back home again. DnS is on the left-hand side of the map now. I mean, what's he going to do, though? Loses the Oracle, so he gets one Revelation. I mean, he's just going to try and base trade it again? I guess. Perhaps. I mean, the Stalkers with Blink can be very annoying. Stand on the low ground. Zerg army is on the way back up. How does DnS approach this? Just try and blink away. It doesn't look as though he is. He's just going to try and fight this. I think he realizes that this game's kind of just over anyways. And that if he runs away, he's just going to be playing a long game with a losing battle at the end of it. I think you've seen Immortals drop in. That is GG. Nerchio takes game number 5.